We got that audio humping.
What does audio humping even mean?
It means it's getting busy.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gettin Cheezy with Van and Jeezy. I'm Van.
And I am Jeezy.
What a way to start a show. That's a good one.
We're getting that audio humping for you guys. It's getting busy. Like we do every week.
That's right. We do every week. Speaking of weekly things, the scores from week 4 of NFL action. Thursday night game, disappointing. Eagles over the Packers, 34-27. We've got the Sunday games. Giants over the Redskins, 24-3. Ass whooping.
Ass whooping.
Chiefs sneak one out over the Lions, 34-30. Sorry, Lions.
Sorry, Lions. Titans
over the Falcons, 24-10. No one cares. Browns put up a good amount of points on the Ravens, 40-25.
It's not quite an ass whooping, but that one stings for the Ravens.
Raiders over the Colts, 31-24.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, a little bit. Patriots sneak one out over the Bills, 16-10. I was so hoping the Bills would come out of that game as the undefeated team, not the Patriots.
Sorry about it.
Panthers over the Texans, 16-10. The last 3 games the Panthers have won have been with quarterback Kyle Allen, not Cam Newton.
Dang.
No one down here wants him anymore.
Dang. I'm surprised you didn't bust out Scam Newton.
I mean, it's implied. Chargers over the Dolphins, 30-10, which I read the Dolphins scoring differential, how everybody's run up the score on them and they've scored basically nothing, is the largest scoring differential in the NFL since like 1948 or 41. It's been pretty much forever since someone's been this bad.
Yep.
Buccaneers have a franchise record day, throwing up 55 points against the Rams, who scored 40.
I'm going to call it ass whooping.
You're going to call that ass whooping?
I mean, a 15-point win, 55 total points.
When there's 95 points in a game, it seems to me that there was an accident that happened somewhere. Oops. Oh, man. Oops. Another pick 6. Sorry. Oops. Oops. Oh, special teams touchdown. Oops. Like, that's not a real score. That's a lot of oopsies.
Yeah, that's a fucking mess.
We got the Seahawks over the Cardinals, 27-10. We've got the Bears over the Vikings, 16-6. Jags over the Broncos, 26-24. The Saints over the Cowboys, 12-10.
Surprising.
So what do you mean surprising? That's not surprising whatsoever.
The Saints won with 4 field goals.
First time they've done that since 1998, by the way.
Ridiculous. Keep going.
And then tonight, we won't have a chance to report on the Bengals-Steelers game, but we both picked Cincinnati to be the winner for that game. So, all that being said, with our picks from last week, the current records as they stand, Jeezy still in the lead, 22-7-1. I am following that with 19-10-1. Obviously waiting on this evening's scores.
What can I say? I'm still the greatest of all time. Although I did fall one, damn Cowboys let me down.
See what happens when the Cowboys have to play a decent team instead of the 3 worst teams in the NFL?
I don't know how they put up 10 points only.
Because they're not that good.
Zeke put up less than 50 yards.
Because they played an actual team and got exposed as not being that good. So that's week 4 action.
I want to start by saying Patrick Mahomes is the man.
I'm so sick of hearing it.
Quote from Washington Post: on one of his worst days, Patrick Mahomes shows why he is the NFL's best. This is an article posted by Adam Kilgore, and this is literally just an ode to one man's love of perhaps the greatest athlete in the NFL.
Yeah, this guy got a crush for sure. I mean, what is this dude like? What are his credentials for saying this?
Adam Kilgore?
I mean, I guess at the same time, what are our credentials for saying anything we're saying?
I was going to say, and who also, like, 95% of the time, the people that we cite are people I've never heard of before.
Don't you dare knock on BroBible.com.
I swear, is Bro Bible coming up again this week?
Yes, actually, yeah, it is.
What the actual fuck? Is that a real source? Even Wikipedia is like, oh, Bro Bible.
It's for the Antonio Brown section.
Okay, fine.
Keep on with your Mahomes man love.
Quote from the article. He, meaning Mahomes, dragged the Chiefs to a 34-30 victory over the Lions in Detroit, spearheading a 79-yard touchdown drive that ended with 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Even after a sloppy game against a previously unbeaten team, the Chiefs are 4-0.
Don't care.
I'm just saying that Patrick Mahomes, when his team doesn't show up, puts all of them on his back and carries their ass to victory.
That's what Aaron Rodgers does.
He does. I'm not saying he doesn't, but anyway, I don't have to dwell on this too much. I want to give one comment. I'll let you react to it if you like, and then I have a quote here that I'm going to use to wrap it up. Patrick Mahomes, I think, is leading the race to be the NFL MVP. At 25% of the games in, I think it is easy at this point to say he is leading the race to be repeat NFL MVP.
It's easy?
Did you hear how effortlessly I just said it? Easy.
You know what I was thinking, actually, is I wonder if, and this is a topic for later, but will we ever truly see another most valuable player? The player who is the most valuable to his team or the league. I don't know if we'll ever see truly another most valuable player again. Because if you're really good and you're on a shitty team, you're not winning the MVP. Will we ever see a running back win MVP again? When was the last running back we had MVP? I don't even know.
I don't know. I feel like it's pretty much a quarterback's game these days. All I know is when it comes to that quarterback game, it's tough to find anybody better than Mahomes.
I think I said it last week. I think we're starting to see the new wave coming in.
Here's a big-ass quote. Just finding whatever way to win the football game, Mahomes said. That's how you roll in this league. It's not always about the touchdowns and the yards. It's about finding a way to win. If that was running for the first down, if that was handing the ball off when I have my running backs work for me, I'm going to do that. If you want to be great as a team, as a player, it's how you win the game. So for me, I'm just going to go out there every single week and do whatever it takes to win.
All right. The last running back to win MVP, you want to guess?
I'm going to guess Marshall Faulk.
Not that far back. AP, Adrian Peterson, won it in 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Before that, the previous time was 2006 was LaDainian Tomlinson, and 2005 was Sean Alexander.
Wow.
The last time a defensive player won the MVP, Lawrence Taylor, back in 1986.
Holy shit, you got to go back. That's before I was born.
Other than that, since 1975, it's quarterback, running back.
All right, that's cool, but another big thing I got to talk about. Larry Fitzgerald passes Tony Gonzalez for number 2 in receptions. Article from NFL.com. Michael Baca.
Great job, Larry.
He passed Tony Gonzalez here in his 16th season. Gonzalez played a total of 17, so he's still basically a season and a half shorter term than Tony. But I was looking at the leader. Do you know who the leader is?
I have it in front of me, sorry. Jerry Rice.
Old Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice's records for receptions and all-time receiving yards, well, receiving yards looks insurmountable.
Yeah, it's not close. It's like over 6,000 yards, which is at least, if he's playing out of his mind, at least 6 more years, which would put him at 42 years old.
Yeah, that was not looking good. But Larry Fitzgerald, that dude is a beast. He's just one of those guys who, he goes out there, he looks like he enjoys the game. He's also kind of just one of these upstanding guys in the community and in the way he talks and carries himself. I'm happy to see success for a guy like that. Hard worker, team player, good guy.
Can I tell you 2 more crazy records? Well, first, Larry needs 223 more receptions to catch up to Jerry Rice.
So many.
The one that's super impressive is that he is second place to Jerry Rice in consecutive games with at least 1 reception with 231. Jerry Rice had 274 consecutive games with a reception.
That's absurd.
That's 17 and an eighth years.
That's absurd. Anyway, Larry Fitz is the shit. That's all I got to say about all that.
Fitz is the shits. You know who's not the shits?
Who's that?
Vontaze Burfict.
I feel like he's been coming up a lot on this show.
Yeah, 'cause he's a dirty motherfucker.
Did anybody hand him Speed Stick, Old Spice, body wash?
He not stinky, he dirty.
Dove Men Plus Care?
He needs some of that Dial soap, that yellow bar of soap that like you use it and it takes off all the oils off your skin and just leaves you dry and peeling. Yeah, some of that yellow Dial soap.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that would do the trick.
Vontaze Burfict suspended the rest of the season for helmet-to-helmet contact on a completely defenseless receiver against the Colts. Did you get a chance to watch it?
No, I did not. I could not find the link.
Just search Vontae's Perfect and it'll come up like instantly because it happened yesterday. But he's pretty well known for having these terrible, nasty hits like these. He's already racked up $4.2 million in fines from the league for things like this. And he hasn't played a full season since 2013 from injuries and suspensions from shit like this. No more than 11 games in the season since then.
That's ridiculous. I mean, obviously he's got the notorious hit on Antonio Brown that sparks your whole tinfoil hat theory about how he has CT and everything else.
It's not tinfoil.
Reynolds rap alert. It is.
Woo, woo.
But anyway, I mean, a dirty player like that, it's just, you've got to ask yourself, guy like Vontae's Perfect, what he does on the field, is it time to get rid of players like that? And I don't mean like...
Yes, it is. There's no question. It is time. If the league is truly serious about player safety, as they claim to be, it is time to get rid of players like this. They're completely overcalling these ticky-tack bullshit calls, pass interference, blah, 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 and they're completely whiffing on the player safety calls, like how Jamal Williams got knocked out of the Packers game on the first Packers offensive play. He was stood up for a good 2 seconds. I forget the guy's first name, but Bennett from the Eagles comes in and smacks him head-to-head. Williams gets carried off on a stretcher, gets carted off the field. Bennett is allowed to continue to play the rest of the game, has another dirty hit, and a handful of pretty impactful plays. This whole thing is a fucking mess. I really don't think the NFL is as serious as they claim to be about keeping players safe, or you would be getting rid of these guys. Now, I've said it a lot. Maybe not on this show, but I've said it a lot. College football has officiating right. How much drama is there in college football for rules? Zero. You know what happens when a player gets hit helmet to helmet in college?
It's an immediate ejection, right?
They stop and they review the play to see if it falls under the definition of targeting. If it does, it's an immediate ejection for one game. That's one full game. If I get ejected in the third quarter with 9 minutes left, I'm suspended until the next third quarter with 9 minutes left. It's a true penalty. These guys are making so much money, it doesn't fucking matter how much money they're making. A fine doesn't matter to them. 15 yards doesn't matter to them. You need to do something that's actually going to sting them, and that's sitting out the game. I think it's complete bullshit. It is time to be having players like this no longer in the league when it's a thing where you're blatantly trying to injure somebody, which is what this was. The tight end for the Colts, I forget the guy's name, he is on his knees, kneeling down, having just cut the ball, kneeling down, would have totally sufficed to run up to him, put two hands on him to mark him down. Instead, fucking spears him head to head.
It's ridiculous. It's obscene.
It's a mess. It's a complete mess. I don't know why the NFL is so resistant to go look at college and figure out what the fuck is working in college, because it is. So sick of it. I just want the NFL to do college rules and be done with this shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel that strongly about that stuff. I think...
Finish my rant here. I'm sorry.
I do care about the targeting. I think that would be a big improvement. I personally like that rule. I think the way they handle that is good. Of course, they can keep the fines on there. The financial motivation, that money can go somewhere positive. But I think you're right that the penalty has to exceed some unnecessary roughness, 15-yard bullshit.
It has to make the player actually try to, learn a lesson, right? Vontae's Perfect is a dirty player. He's now got a reputation for being a dirty player. Ndamukong Suh, reputation for being a dirty player. He should have been kicked out of the league, too, for stepping on people and just being a bad human being on the football field. There's no room in the NFL. There's no room in professional sports for attempting to hurt someone else.
I agree with that. I want to move on to a new article.
No, I got one more thing. Other than that,
Go.
Other than that, officiating-wise, pass interference is a fucking mess right now. It's a fucking mess.
It's a fucking mess. We got to come back to this during the Packers game section.
We will. And the reviewing of pass interference is a fucking mess.
It's a nightmare.
I have mentioned it earlier last week. I feel like this year they're being told if you see the hint of something, just fucking throw the flag. We'll pick it up later.
But then they review stuff and then they can't make any fucking decisions.
Because the new rule is clear and obvious is the new rule, which is what gets me. It has to be clear and obvious to overturn it, but it can be whatever the fuck on the field. This shit is happening in ultra speed, and human beings are staring at it I think that was that. But no human being can see that shit that fast. The call on the field has to stop having any weight whatsoever. The call on the field doesn't fucking matter anymore. And this is what happens in college. A close play immediately gets reviewed. There's no, like, the ref deciding on, like, it always gets reviewed every time.
I said this exact same thing, and you kind of poo-pooed me, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago. I was like, we need to get rid of the call on the field and just...
No, I've always been a proponent for getting rid of the call on the field.
Come on. I said
You were talking to somebody else. You're talking to your other van.
I was talking to a van, the motor vehicle.
Talking to a minivan in a parking lot.
And I heard...
Not the beardy van sitting behind a microphone.
Okay, whatever. We agree then. We either always have agreed or you've at least come around to my side. Either way, I'll take it. Absolutely. The call on the field is stupid. The call on the field should only exist when everything is clear and obvious. There's no contested anything.
Did you use the phrase clear and obvious in a way that makes sense?
Yeah, because if I could see it with the naked
Jeezy,
eye...
I need to get you a direct line to Roger Goodell right now.
Hi, can I speak to Roger, please? Your refrigerator is running. Can we get a review on that, though? Because I'm not sure if it's clear and obviously running.
That's the best rendition of that joke this century.
That's pretty okay. Anyway, I want to do a quick rundown. Week 4 winners. Both of the Grudens are in this list. Obviously, John Gruden and the Raiders get their win, make their season look decent. Jay Gruden, on the other hand, I think that dude is looking at getting fired after losing again.
Yeah. The Redskins are trash.
But it's weird because that organization thinks that they're good. Like the head office people think, come on, Jay, we've given you nothing but all-stars. You should be winning. Jay Gruden's like, look, man, you gave me a bunch of turds. I made a huge turd pile. What else can you expect? That's what you get with a bunch of turds. Anyway, Jay Gruden, good luck. You might be looking for a job elsewhere not too long from now. Continue on the winners, New Orleans Saints.
I said it. I knew with certainty that Teddy Bridgewater would be just fine. Just fine.
4 field goals.
Just fine. Completely serviceable.
I'm going to say that I was right because the defense stepped up. Listen to this. Quote from this USA Today article by whoever the fuck wrote it, Lorenzo Reyes. The defense clamped down on the Cowboys' rushing attack, holding Ezekiel Elliott to 35 yards. The third lowest total of his career. 35 yards. You can pretty much count that on your fingers and toes.
I could probably run that far.
35 yards.
Yeah, and like at one time.
I could run that on an e-scooter.
But like no one can be near me. I can't be having people chasing me or trying to tackle me. I can run that far just like in a relatively straight line. There'll have to be water at the end and probably in the middle.
I'm just saying that defense stepped up, and that's what I said needed to happen, and it happened. Way to go, Saints.
How about Leonard Fournette running for 225 yards?
190 of them in the second half. That is ridiculous. Hold on, 190? That's 6 yards a minute for the running back on average.
And that's a game minute, not an actual,
Yeah, no, a per game minute running clock most of the time. You may remember that a sequence of a play usually takes 40 seconds.
It's pretty good.
That's ridiculous.
They got more winners here. Freddie Kitchens and Baker Mayfield of the Browns.
So this week, if it's Brown, you didn't even have to flush it down. Baker Mayfield and Kitchens prove that the Browns may still have a shot at not making Van look like an asshole.
Well, I do most of that myself, make myself look like an asshole. There's not much they can do to make that any better.
Just saying, they did what they had to do. They got a 15-point win over Baltimore. Baltimore's a solid team. Way to go. Way to go, Browns. And I think with that, they have the head-to-head tie, so now they are the division leader over there.
Oh, good for them.
Good on them. So, losers, Dan Quinn, Matt Ryan.
You forgot John Gruden.
Where?
The winner, John Gruden. For the first time in 18 years, the Raiders won in Indianapolis.
All right, I don't want to say too much positive about John Gruden. I think that's quite enough.
You really don't like him.
All right, moving on. Jay Gruden, he's a loser. Not because I think he's... Jay Gruden, John's brother. He's probably going to get fired. That's all I can say about that. Dan Quinn, Matt Ryan.
I just don't understand the Falcons in general. I feel like every year they're either 12-4 or like 4-12. There's no in between of like 9-7, 8-8. They're either good or bad.
Yeah.
Is Matt Ryan getting like too the fuck old now? Is he almost done?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong there. Here's a quote. The Falcons' offense is one that lacks identity. It was just one play, but perhaps none other defined the start of the season more than a 4th and 4 from the Tennessee 25-yard line with 7:20 to play in the fourth quarter. The Falcons were down by 2 touchdowns, yet Ryan took a snap with an empty backfield, left the pocket early, and tried to scramble. Tennessee defenders quickly smothered him, stopped him short of the line of scrimmage for a turnover on downs.
Well, that'll do it.
They're just not right. They're not right over there.
You know who's not right is the fucking clowns that wanted to give Kirk Cousins $84 million guaranteed to do fucking nothing.
The purple people eaters.
It's so dumb. I knew it was dumb. I knew it was dumb.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, Vikings. Sorry about it. Y'all done fucked up.
And Adam Thielen's like giving him a hard time too. It's just
Let me give you the quote from Adam Thielen. At some point, you're not going to be able to run the ball for 180 yards. Even with the best running back in the NFL, that's when you have to be able to throw the ball. You have to be able to hit the deep balls. It's weird to end a sentence with the word balls. Can I say that?
End a sentence with hit the deep balls.
Hit the deep balls.
Deshaun Watson, also a loser.
Super good guy. I just heard that he bought a Rolls Royce also this week, just in separate news, but the kid is super good at football, but the Texans just don't seem to give a fuck about protecting him.
Yeah. Even though they picked up Laramie Tunsil, they're still, I don't know, they did a decent amount to try and shore up their offensive line, but they're still really bad.
They got to do a lot more. A lot more.
Well, do you want to now go ahead and speak about how much more the Packers have to do?
And now I'm cheesing my way back to you, Van, with a burning cheese inside. It's the Packers section!
All right, just some quick highlights here from my notes during the Packers game. I'm going to read out the best ones to you. All capital letters. I hate Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Yeah, I think there was an active chant against them during an injury timeout.
Here's the next one. Fucking Troy Aikman is a fucking dingus. He hates the Packers so much. And then at the very end there, Joe Buck sucks chants, LOL IRL.
Somebody was down, hurt bad late in the game.
And they were doing, Joe Buck sucks. Joe Buck sucks.
Yep.
Jimmy Graham, man. I have that also in big capital letters here. Jimmy G is a waste of fucking money. And then a little bit later, holy shit, Jimmy G catch. Next line, holy shit, Jimmy G touchdown. After that, what the fuck, Jimmy G? Did anybody tell Jimmy Graham that in football you're allowed to catch the ball with 2 hands?
He was like trying to catch the ball with one hand and a chin, or one hand and a peck, or one hand. I don't know what he was trying to do. I know what he did, though, was piss me right the fuck off. That guy was being just generally a shitty receiver, a shitty tight end. However you want to refer to him, he was being shitty at it. I mean, the dude should be 2 things. The king of tetherball, he's a giant, and when he plays football, he should be king of the jump ball. Just the lob pass and catch it. There should be no time that he can't go up with 2 hands and come down with it. He's a giant. His wingspan is enormous.
He's a giant waste of fucking money. Seriously, man. We've had him, this is the 3rd year going on having him, I think, right?
Yeah.
What has he done? Nothing.
I don't know.
Except for drop like 3 potential touchdowns. All right. To start the game at Devontae Adams, awesome. 180 yards in the day for him. Rodgers started out 10 for 10. Awesome.
The offense looked like it was clicking, and really they got very... I mean, obviously Jamal Williams gets hurt. I think that changes the strategy of the game a bit from being able to mix in the run as much as they wanted to. But the pass game looked sharp for quite a while.
You know what I saw that I was so pleased with? I saw Aaron Rodgers fucking zipping the ball like he used to. I saw old school Aaron Rodgers slinging it.
He was slinging it, that's for sure.
Like the two balls he threw and the touchdown pass he threw to Geronimo Allison, all three of those balls he threw hard as shit. Like reminding me of like Super Bowl era Aaron Rodgers. That was really good.
He was definitely not fucking around.
I'm still gonna say I still feel like MVS is better than Geronimo Allison all day.
You're probably right about that. But I think that Geronimo Allison is going to... I think he's going to get better. I think he's just coming off that big injury year, and I think he's going to get better.
I hope so. I also wanted to talk about how bad our kick team coverage has been this year. Crosby kicked one out of bounds, which was like, okay, let's give him the ball on the 40-yard line for free. What the fuck was that?
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Kickoffs are so easy now, kicking off from the 35. You just half hit it, and it's going to go out the back of the end zone. Like, who cares? And with how bad our kick coverage has been lately, don't even try and leave the ball in the area of play. It's just stupid. Like we mentioned, I'm really sick of like these ticky-tack pass interference calls. The one thing the refs did that I actually enjoyed was there was like a non-fumble play where it like seemed like a fumble but wasn't kind of thing. They let it play out, and they fixed it during instant replay versus like calling it dead right away, you know?
They really are trying their best, and it's not like these people are... These people take a lot of shit for this job. And it's got to be just for the love of football, because it doesn't seem that the benefits are enough, other than you get to be on the field with some of the greatest athletes in the world.
Yeah. Did you see before the end of the half, the first half, we got the ball back with like less than 2 minutes, and we just fucking like drained the clock?
Yeah.
What was the point of that? Didn't even try. Give Aaron Rodgers in 2 minutes. Go try.
I don't know what the deal was. I mean, it's just... I think there was quite a bit of questionable calling. Obviously, at the end of the game, also, you know, we get the ball at the 2-yard line and we can't run the ball. We're doing classic...
Not even once.
Pete Carroll syndrome.
But that happened for an entire drive, right? 4 chances, had the ball at the 1-yard line, didn't run it once. Then gave the ball back to the Eagles, and they just fucking drove out of the end zone. Didn't run it once. What happened to the days of the quarterback sneak? The Eagles do it.
So do the Patriots.
Patriots do it. Why don't we run quarterback sneaks? You only need 1 yard versus taking the time for the quarterback to drop back, hand it off. That just gives too much time for too much momentum for the defensive players to get a push.
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I'm going to say 2 things. There was an egregious pass interference call, defensive pass interference when we had the ball. Looked super clear and obvious to me, did not get overturned, which is earlier in the game, obviously has a big impact. But I want to say that at the very end of the game, during that slant route, on that very last play that closes it up, there was again, I thought, clear and obvious defensive pass interference causes that interception.
Yes, I agree.
And there's no way to call. There's no way. It's
less than 2 minutes. You can't challenge it.
You can't challenge it. It's not a scoring possession. I don't. Are turnovers in 2 minutes always reviewed? I don't even know.
I thought so, but you're reviewing for the turnover, not for the penalty to be assessed or not. They're only reviewing one specific part of the play.
It was bullshit. It was absolute bullshit. We got fucked on no calls on pass interference twice in the same game. Both times hugely affecting the outcome of the game. The one early on, a big momentum shift, causes a different outcome of that drive than we might have otherwise wanted. The one at the end of the game, ultimately sealing our fate to fall 3-1 with the loss to the Eagles.
There was also another pass interference that didn't get called earlier in the fourth quarter. Quote from Troy Aikman, who I hate, but I love this quote. He said, "You can go to jail for things less than this."
Yep.
They opened a can of worms with this reviewing the pass interference stuff. But the problem is like we mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be clear and obvious to throw the flag, but it has to be clear and obvious to pick it up. When Matt LaFleur throws that challenge flag, which he threw the fuck off that flag, by the way.
He did.
He spiked that shit. I love seeing that. That's good. And we still don't get it? Like, what? I don't know what they're looking at, man.
I don't get it either. Do you have any more comments here? We're going to look at the week ahead here in a moment. Do you have any final words on the Packers?
2 last things. I wonder how much the injury to Jamal Williams changed our play calling and further limited the run game. I wish we would have seen more of Danny Vitale, our fullback, playing as a second running back. And our run defense was exceptionally poor. And we knew that coming in, that our run defense was suspect, but not as bad as this. We got gashed over and over and over again.
I mean, we have not looked good on run defense at all. Our pass defense seems pretty decent. I mean, even, I would say, among the best.
We didn't look like this game. But Darnell Savage, great open field tackler. I've noticed that a lot out of him.
Really, in everything you could ask of a defensive back, he's been good. Coverage, interrupting plays, rushing the quarterback from the edge, open field tackling. He's able to do all the things you want. And this is only his first year in the league.
Open field tackling is hard to do.
It is.
And he's been making sticks, so that's been great.
I mean, coverage is hard too. We have so many not this year, but we have had a lot of horrible coverage players.
Ladarius Gunter. I want to say one last thing, and then I'll wrap it up.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel that every team, professional sports team, chess team, any team ever, needs a humbling moment. A moment where you kind of have that reality check of like, oh man, we could get beat kind of thing. The Packers defense got hyped up for 3 weeks in a row, had the NFC Defensive Player of the Week in Preston Smith. Everybody was touting the Packers defense as being a top 5 defense in the league. And then we got our asses kicked. And I feel like that is one of the humbling moments that this team needed on defense to help galvanize them for the rest of the year. And even so, 15-1 is not a bad record.
Yeah, 15-1. I hope that's what we're looking at. But I agree. You got to have those moments that keep you honest. And this game was just one of those inflection points where we have to decide, are we going to take it, turn it into fuel, and become that much better? Or are we going to shatter this false veneer of being just the greatest team on earth? That's what we have to see, is what this team is made out of and what this team is made out of under this coaching staff. So with that, we're going to look at the week ahead. We have Packers coming up with the Cowboys, both teams ending their flawless streaks with disappointing losses. We're going to bring in previous caller, big-time supporter of the show, Durrty Dan. We're going to dial him in right now.
Yo, how's it going, guys?
We are living the dream out here. We're just did a quick rundown of the Packers. We wanted to bring you in. We're looking at the week ahead. Obviously, we got the green and gold going up against the boys. Wanted to get your take on maybe 1 minute on what you saw this past week from the Cowboys and what you're expecting in the week ahead.
All right, what I saw this last week from the Cowboys was horrible. Their offense was trash. But on the defensive side of the ball, though, they actually did all right. They held the Saints to 4 field goals. It's been years since the Saints have won a game without a touchdown. They held them to 12, which is fantastic for a defense, but we still lost the game, which shows how bad our offense was. You saw Zeke was pretty much shut down for the whole game.
He had 35 yards.
He did do better than that because he did have that one fumble on the 4th down play.
Yeah, that was critical.
So he did have that redeeming quality, which did result in a field goal, which we lost 10-12. So you erase that field goal, we win 10-9 in theory.
I mean, that 4th down drive did result in a first down, though.
Not for the Cowboys, though.
Not for the Cowboys, though. Probably the biggest problem, though, that we got going into Green Bay are that Tyron Smith is hurt. That's our big left tackle. That dude is just crazy scary and crazy good at his job. And he got hurt right in that last drive, actually, first play of the last drive. The replacement's Cameron Fleming, and people were getting through on him. So, I don't know. Who are your guys' defensive ends? Is that Smith?
Yeah, typically you've got the Smiths, Preston, and Zadarius coming off the edge. Sprinkle in our rookie Rashawn Gary, and every once in a while Dean Lowry.
Yeah,
big old 94. He'll line up wide.
I could definitely see if you guys got anybody halfway decent over there. I could see them making a meal out of that.
The Smiths are definitely nothing to sneeze at. Rashawn Gary's he's up and coming. I hope.
I saw him in a couple good plays this past game. He had a couple of good plays.
He did.
Yeah, he looked all right. I saw most of the game. He looked pretty good. One really good thing that I did see for Dallas is our defensive end on the weak side, Robert Quinn. He's in for Tyrone Crawford. I didn't know who he was, and I looked it up, and that's why, because he's replacing somebody. He's crazy good at, pursuit, tearing it up. He had 2 sacks that game, knocked a pass down, and he was just always up in there. So
I'm not worried about it. We got Dave Bakhtiari. He's the best tackle in the league. I'm not worried about it.
All right, but he can only block one of them.
I'm not worried about it.
Side and DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. You can only block one with Bakhtiari. So.
Oh, you mean that we'll just have Brian Bulaga on the other side, another one of the best tackles in the league? Oh,
I've been seeing Aaron Rodgers get hit quite a bit back there. So
he barely got hit the past 2 games. Barely.
I know I saw a game where he got sacked like 4 times, didn't he? I don't remember if that wasn't last week.
Why are you always bringing up old shit?
I'm just saying. It's possible to get up in there, and they about to get up in there. Just a quick note, I'd say that the keys, if you guys are trying to come away with the W, definitely got to shut down Zeke. And if you guys can get in Amari Cooper's head, like the Saints did, that pretty much shuts down a lot of the passing attack. And if you guys can cut out those 2 pieces, that's the Packers' best shot, I think, at beating Dallas.
I think if you want to beat the Packers, what you have to do is convince us to take the ball at the 1-yard line, because it's seemingly we cannot score once we're within. If like the 20 and closer is the red zone, it's like the 5 and closer, the red hot zone. It's just like Matt LaFleur, you guys just have to like pin us in the 5. From any point, just run with our guys, tackle them within the 5. That pretty much guarantees we'll walk away with no points.
Like how a punter is supposed to try to punt the ball within the 10. Like our defensive backs should just give up big passes, but only up to the 5-yard line. It's just going to be like 80-yard passes all game and just tackle guys within the 5.
Yeah, we're going to have like 800 yards of offense, but 0 points.
I'll pass it up the ladder.
I want to point out the last time the Packers and Cowboys played was October 8th, 2017 in Dallas. Packers pull out a thriller 35-31 win with 9.
Wasn't that in the playoffs?
No. That was another time.
Sure?
That was another time we beat you guys. I got it right here, Durrty Dan. I got it pulled up right now. October 8th, 2017. There were 93,329 people in attendance, in case you were wondering.
I was. So that works, thanks.
With 11 seconds left in the 4th quarter, Devontae Adams catches a 12-yard pass from Aaron Rodgers. Mason Crosby converts the point after for the Packers to win 35-31 over the Cowboys.
Because that was the game where we had just got a touchdown with like 14 seconds left, right? Or like we just scored to pull ahead with like 14, or like it was like no time left on the clock.
It was like 1 minute. It was like a minute left.
The thing I remember the most about that game wasn't that game. It was a meme that I saw later of a Packer fan at the game where he took a selfie of like him smiling real big and all these Cowboys fans behind him cheering. And he was like, these assholes behind me think that they won this game. They gave the ball back to Rodgers with over a minute left. Game over. And you can't give Aaron Rodgers the ball back with a minute left. That's too much time. Even if it's 0 timeouts, that's too much time.
I just looked it up. Wikipedia informed me. The Packers lead the overall series 19-17. However, in the postseason, it is a dead heat. 8 meetings, 4 wins Packers, 4 wins Cowboys.
I would have thought that would have been completely opposite. I would have thought the Cowboys would have been shitting on us our entire lives.
Cowboys they're an expansion team. They joined the NFL in 1960. And basically we win the first 6 in a row back then. But then you get to the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from 91 to 99, they won every game except for 1.
Hey Van, quick quiz. What year were you born in?
1990.
That makes a lot of sense why it's, to you, it seems like they've been shitting on you for your whole life at least.
I'm just saying, I would go back and watch a Cowboys Super Bowl, but I don't have a VHS player anymore.
Well, I got one quick story to tell. I went to a Cowboys-Packers game at Lambeau, and for anybody that's curious about what Lambeau Field is like when you're not a Packer fan, it's a lot like going to your uncle's house who's going to get drunk and talk shit, but like all harmless. So I was wearing a Romo jersey because that's, when this was. And the whole game, it was like every time the Packers scored, and they crushed us that game too. So that was cool. Every time they scored, this guy behind me, like 3 rows up, hey, Romo, let's score now. And it was a good game. Everybody was very fun. It was still a good time at Lambeau.
All right, Dando. Here's what I need, though. Take your Cowboys glasses off. I need your honest-to-goodness prediction on that game.
A score.
All fandom aside, honest-to-goodness prediction.
That game is going to be so close. It all totally depends on if Green Bay can shut down Zeke or not. Who did you guys just play that ran all over?
Howard, Eagles. I don't know. We've not been great on run D in general.
All right, fair enough. If I'm going to throw out a score, I'm going to say that Dallas is going to win it. Now, I think it'd be a different story if we were coming to Green Bay. After losing on the road, coming up to Green Bay, that's a different story. But going back down to Dallas, we got a game that we just lost that was a close game. I think they're going to be playing hard, and I think Zeke's going to have a big game. So I think that Dallas wins that. We'll throw it like 24-17-ish.
I don't want to give a prediction, but I think both teams will break 30 points this week.
You think both teams will break 30?
I think both teams are going to break 30 points.
Here's what I've got for you. I've got Cowboys offense ranked 3rd overall with a 5th ranked passing game, 4th ranked rushing game, and a 9th ranked defense, whereas the Packers have the 19th ranked overall offense, 13th passing, 26th rushing, and 13th ranked defense.
I think that seems pretty accurate. I really think that this game's going to be very close. Those stats almost make it sound like Dallas is going to crush them, but I think that's going to be a really close game.
I personally think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. I don't see any other way this game goes.
I sure hope so.
Here's how I think this game goes. The first quarter is going to go by in a blur of scores where Dallas is going to leverage that running game, and then it's going to become a fucking shootout for the rest of the game.
Are you ready for the Van Scroll of Truth?
The Scroll of Truth?
I've been waiting for it every day of my life. What do you got?
Zeke is going to open up the Packers defense and shit down our throats.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
It's going to be bad. I'm testing my fandom here. It's either going to be Packers winning 24-21 or Dallas winning 35-17. Those are my two guesses. But I think either way, Zeke's going to run all over us. I think turnovers for the Packers are going to be crucial.
I think that the second half of this game turns into a shootout. Unless our ability to shoot out is completely gone, I don't see any other way that we beat Dallas. I don't think we can beat them in a ground and pound, physical, drain the clock game.
I think we match up against Dak just fine. Just fine in the secondary.
Exactly.
The problem is that the Cowboys have the league's highest paid rusher and the current reigning rushing champion.
That's the problem.
And our defense is not stout against the run whatsoever.
No, not good against the run.
But I'm also a firm believer that any team can beat any other team on any given day. And I don't want this to sound like I'm counting the Packers out for any reason whatsoever. I just think that there's a lot that needs to be done to contain certain people to keep the game competitive.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, I think Dallas has got it. I agree.
What the fuck?
Oh, come on.
And with that, we have to bid you adieu, Durrty Dan. We got to keep it moving, but thanks for coming on the show.
And with that, thanks, but fuck off.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Just kidding. Come back anytime.
Yeah. We'll see how the game goes, and maybe we'll call back next week or see what we got.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Thanks for having me on. Good talking with you both. Have a good show.
All right, thanks, homie. Catch you on the flip.
Okay, love you, bye-bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Bye.
Whoa.
It's the fucking gossip section.
You just stole my Ooh,
I tell you, we're humping today.
We're hustling today. All right.
Getting busy.
Remember how I told you that Antonio Brown was like going back to school?
Yeah.
He asked for help on Twitter. He said that he needed help.
You can't ask for anything genuine on Twitter.
Well, check out. He's taking 4 classes. One of them is MGT 312. I don't know what that is. Management, maybe?
Yeah, it sounds like a management class.
ENG 303WI, English.
I was going to say it's either English or engineering.
REL 334WI, whatever. And SOC 323, so social studies, I'm sure. He tweets out, my English paper due by tonight, 12 a.m. Need a proofreader. Make sure A's and B's. Hashtag ENG303. The problem here, my English paper due, spelled D-O, not D-U-E, by tonight, 12 a.m. Need a proofreader, spelled P-R-O-F, not P-R-O-O-F. Make sure A's and B's. No punctuation or anything. This person screenshots it, underlines the misspellings with red like the Microsoft Word, draws a big F on top of it and says, see me in office hours.
Sorry about it, AB. Get your mother fudging levels up.
This person corrects him on due and proof and says, "Got you, bro. It's going to be a long semester." This person's got the best one, probably. "I'll do it for 30 million guaranteed."
I could grade that shit for 30 mil.
This person says, "Somebody send Rosetta Stone to his English teacher's house ASAP."
That's fucked up.
This one says, "Imagine getting paid millions by the NFL and throwing it away just so you'd be stuck with writing English papers." It's a gif of Mr. Rogers putting on a clown mask.
But what about Ralph from The Simpsons with the classic quote, "Me fail English? That's impossible."
These are so good. They're so good.
All right, it's enough clowning AB. We've got serious AB news here.
Oh, yeah. He's expected to set off a legal battle for $61 million.
And the quote is, "The legal battle to recoup more than $61 million he believes he's owed from the Oakland Raiders and New England Patriots," according to reports on Sunday.
He's expected to file a list of grievances and appeals in an attempt to receive compensation from the two teams after being released. If he follows through, he would be the first player in NFL history to have 9 different appeals generated from one season.
That's crazy. He's looking for $9 million signing bonus from the Patriots, $29 million in salary guarantees from the Raiders, and unpaid salaries of $20 million from the Patriots for an option in year 2020.
Doesn't make any sense to me. That one doesn't.
I don't know if he's going to get any of this money. It's hard for me to guess, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm not like a lawyer. I don't know any of this legal mumbo jumbo, but to me, the word guaranteed means guaranteed.
So as far as I understand, there are stipulations. Like guaranteed means like if you play in good faith and you get hurt or you whatever it is, but that's not exactly what happened here. I think the Oakland Raiders basically cut him before his guarantees are due, and the Patriots cut him due to player conduct stipulations. Obviously, I've not seen a copy or read a copy of his contract with either of these teams, but I know there are stipulations, even in guaranteed money, of things that can void certain parts of guaranteed money.
I don't know how much, but he's going to get some money. He's going to get some of it.
Yeah, he probably will get a little chunk, but not too much. I don't think he's not gonna get all 60 whatever million dollars.
I saw a pretty good meme too that was like, maybe I said this last week, I forget. It was a picture of a shopping rack and it said Antonio Brown becomes the first player in NFL history to have his jersey on 3 teams' different clearance racks.
Womp womp. Maybe they'll sell out all those clearance things to pay him $61 million. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up the gossip / Antonio Brown section. Time to move on to the prime time picks. So Thursday night this week, we got a good one. The Rams are heading off to Seattle to face the Seahawks. Van, who you got?
I'm torn because the Seahawks don't look that good, but the Rams should also be reeling a little bit from that loss, and they're playing in Seattle. You know what? Fuck it. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Give me Rams all day. The Rams are going to show up hungry. Both of those teams just played the Saints. The Saints made both of them humble. Now it's time to see who learned the most, who was motivated the most, and I think that's going to be the Rams.
That's the Thursday night game. The Sunday night game, Colts and Chiefs. Jeezy, who you got?
Chiefs, baby. The league's MVP, soon to be back-to-back.
Stop.
Patrick Mahomes is going to lead the Chiefs at home in Arrowhead. I think they get a clear W here against a very good Colts team, but I think the Chiefs are staying hot.
I have to agree with that.
Monday night, we get an interesting game. Two teams, obviously one with a lot to prove, the other trying to just prove it quietly. We've got the Browns against the 49ers. Who you got?
Listen, Ram Jam, I'm in your corner. 49ers.
The Browns leave the Eastern time zone, and they get that ass-whooping out west.
Historically, teams that have to travel that far tend to play worse. They're the visiting teams that tend to lose.
That is true. I think that's to a lesser degree when heading west than when heading east, but I believe that is true. Nonetheless, I'm going to stick with the 49ers as well. I think they're going to do the damn thing. Jimmy G is giving me no reason to disbelieve in him, and I got to think that they're going to go out there and do it again.
All right, Jeezy. Gut check here. Who's your official pick, Packers Cowboys? On the record. I'm writing this down in our notes. On the record.
This one counts towards our records, who wins and loses, right?
This counts towards our life. Who wins and loses in life.
Fuck, man. I think I'm going to pick the Cowboys. I don't think our run defense is going to step up enough. And I think the Cowboys are going to sneak out a shitty win in what I hope will be a shootout. I think that's where we get the best chance. And there's just going to be too much time of possession. I just feel like the Cowboys have a scheme in a situation where they can just have the ball for 75% of this game if they really want to.
Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Taking the Packers all day, every day, Jeezy.
I can see that now that you're never going to vote against the Packers.
That's not necessarily true.
It is. The Packers have to show me something. If they win, I don't mind taking this tiny loss on my record. I hope they fucking win. We need a win.
Then the strange, not upset, but the strange whatever game this week. Here's an interesting one, I feel. It's two young quarterbacks, two up-and-coming teams, both 2-2 coming into it. Jaguars, Panthers. Who you got, Jeezy?
I'm going to take the Jaguars. The Jaguars' defense remains stout. I got to take the Jaguars. I got to pick the defensive team with both teams under a young quarterback. I got to pick the defensive team here, and that's the Jaguars.
I mean, you're basically picking Leonard Fournette and Minshew against Kyle Allen and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, but I feel like those are kind of comparable. I feel like the Jags really shine on D. That's I think where it is.
I'm taking the Panthers because I feel like Christian McCaffrey is that good. He's a beast.
And with that, you've been getting cheesy with Van and Jeezy.
I'm Van.
And I'm Jeezy.
As always, check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, cheesypodcast.com.
Yeah, man. What about iHeartRadio?
iHeartRadio, yeah. Or the Cheese Line. You can text us on the Cheese Line.
I love the Cheese Line.
9802-CHEEZY with a Z. 980-224-3399. You can do it. We know you can.
You can do it. Put your data to it. Do people still have minutes?
Fuck no.
Is that of a bygone era?
It has to be. If not, people are getting scammed. Here it is, how we're going to create funding for this show. We are starting the new Cheezy Wireless service where you will be charged for minutes.
What? Every minute that you talk on the cheese line, we charge you $1.99 for the first minute and then 99 cents per minute after that.
We'll see what happens. What kind of cheese are you eating?
Cheddar. Sharp cheddar.
Ugh.
This is getting so gross and uncomfortable.
The nacho cheese looks like melted wet floor signs.
I feel my skin crawling, literally.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Okay, love you, bye.